Hello everyone, and welcome to another anime review. I'm your boy Mize, and today we're going to be reviewing the anime Carol and Tuesday. Carol and Tuesday is the Netflix original anime that has 24 episodes but split into two parts. And today, this week, we're going to be talking about the first 12 episodes which make up part 1. Anime that revolves around the story of music and art, I tend to find the most inspiration in loving stories from them of following your dreams and never letting anything or anyone get in the way of that. It has the story of following your dreams, yet the story that they tell is more on the cliche side of things, and it's quite lackluster for the majority of the show. It does do a lot of good moments though, and I don't want to take it away from that. It's a heartwarming story and it does a good job of pulling at the heartstrings, but it is your typical humble beginning story that's been told a million times over. True, it has its own spin, and I do like combining the runaway story from the rags to riches story into one, but it was in fact a predictable story. I will say that once it gets to the Mars Brightest segment of the show, the story becomes a lot more entertaining. Though it was still predictable, it does a good job in making you think that something out of the blue might happen, and to be fair, we do get a few little surprises along the way. It was also to the point where I could at least feel like I could truly get into both the main characters' journeys. It does take a while to get to that point since the build is so long, but once you get there, you fall in love with them and you cheer them on to the end. The ending was also something I wasn't expecting, but I'm glad they went with what they did. Any other way would have made problems in later seasons and would have had certain character motivations too messed up. One thing that I did like about the show's story was that they explored a little bit of the bad side of being famous with Sybil. It doesn't get explored to the darkest parts, but I do think it was an appropriate amount, since in the show they are still just small-timers. As they get bigger and bigger though, I hope the show gets more and more problems of them being famous and how it affects them as musicians. While there are a lot of good anime that explore fame and fortune, a lot of them never really explore the troubles and fears that some celebs and artists have to go through on an everyday basis. So I hope that this show not only does it, but does it in a responsible way. Moving on to characters, I think this show added a few cool things when it comes to the cast of the show. For starters, there is an LGBT plus presence in the show that caught me quite off guard, honestly, with the mother of Angela, Gus's ex-wife, and Sybil. Though Gus's wife isn't a prominent character in the show, still having all the characters was a nice thing to have. The fact that they're in there doesn't make the story better or worse, but it's nice to see more and more representation in anime as well as other types as well. Another cool thing was Carol being an actual good and well-built main character who is of African American descent. The last African American character in an anime I watched was Kaz Khan from Neo Yokio, and that one left a bad taste in my mouth. So getting introduced to Carol and going alongside her adventure was a good palate cleanser, especially with her backstory. She wasn't a sad poor kid who got abandoned. I mean, she was, but she was also someone who lived a long hard life, yet through it all can smile and pursue her goals with everything she's got. If you ask me, she is both reliable and inspirational for the watcher. Tuesday isn't any different either. I found her character to be a mold of a typical runaway character who's going to follow her dreams, but it works out well with the story and also pairing up with Carol, making them a duo that oozes inspiration. While Carol is the relatable character that would have more impact, I feel Tuesday will relate to more watchers, since I bet a lot of us have experienced the feeling of being told we couldn't do something when it was our passion to do so. The only thing I will say about the Carol and Tuesday pairing is that it doesn't really get the proper setup that it needed. They just meet when Carol's performing on a bridge and they're instantly best friends. True, we do get a little bit of explanation saying that the song they sang that day connected them, but I don't think it's enough. Again, we fall for them hard later in the show when they're competing, but I would like to see a little bit more development from the duo. Another character of note is Angela, who seems to be set up as Carol and Tuesday's main rivals for the series. I personally really like what they're doing with her for the most part, with having her use AI to make her music, while Carol and Tuesday use their own voices and talent to make theirs. But towards the final episodes of the season, we get to see a little bit more of a nicer, softer side from Angela. On one hand, this could be a way for us to sympathize with her when she clashes with them later in the series. However, my fear is that Angela will no longer become the antagonist after having her set up to be one in the future. It would be a shame, as her journey would be a good counterpart to Carol and Tuesday's, telling the story of which is better, human-made or AI-made music. I would have also liked to give a lot of the artists that we see other than the main ones that we follow more screen time. Characters like GGK and OG Bulldog bring such interesting aspects to the world of this anime with their personalities and the music that they perform that I would have liked to give some of them a lot more time to be interacted with. maybe even get a little bit of the backstories that wasn't just us telling us during the contest. I know there's only so much time in a show, but even 1 or 2 interactions would have been enough to at least give the characters a little bit more love and flesh them out a little bit more. Going on to music and animation, there was just so much to talk about on this topic. The animation of the show was amazing, everything was beautiful and vibrant, the backgrounds were lovely, and everything else in between was just phenomenal. Even the opening and ending art designs is some of, if not my favorite of the season. It's so wonderful, you can tell that they put a lot of work and effort into it. The only thing I wasn't a big fan of was the CGI used in scenes when characters were performing. I think they intended it to make it look smoother, but it really didn't. All it really did was make it contrast hard with the handwriting style. I would have preferred if they stuck with hand-drawn art through and through, because I personally think that would have been the better choice and would have gave certain scenes a lot more impact and enjoyment. The music for the most part was nice. It was very pleasant with some nice melodies and lyrics to them. However, every time I heard their songs, I felt as if they should be something I would hear on the radio. That super generic, soft, melancholy song that would have been sung by the likes of Lorde or Adele. It's not the worst thing to say. In fact, I still find these compliments. Those songs are good, and many people like to listen to that kind of music. But for an anime that revolves itself around the idea of music, I would assume that they would have tried to bring out something a little more unique and special. I'm hoping that in the future we can get some really good above and beyond songs that are way better than the ones in this season. I do love how the show decided to pull from a lot of genres rather than just sticking to a few of them. You had your typical hip-hop, pop, and electro music, but at some interesting points you had like an ambient lo-fi mix, some rap opera performed in Latin, and some flashy metal as well. There's even a very vocal doo-wop music that I suggest you check out. I can't explain exactly what it is, but it is something you will have to watch to understand. What this show doesn't do in quality, they effectively make up for when it comes to the various styles they incorporate. Not only was it fun to listen to every different genre, but it also made the world feel like it had some variety. A lot of anime revolving around music tends to stay to one style, but here it felt like the world was filled with all kinds of sounds. It may be a small thing, but it does help quite a lot give that extra layer to the world. Carol and Tuesday don't do much to make something special or anything to truly stand out from the crowd. However, it does make a good story that's fun to watch, music that's good to listen to, characters that are likable, and animation that's the cherry on top. It has its flaws, and we need to remember that, but also appreciate what this show in terms of quality has to offer. And it's got a lot of it. It's not a masterpiece, but I think that this piece of work can be appreciated and loved for what it is, and it could give a lot of people out there some long-awaited inspiration to follow their own dreams. I give Carol and Tuesday an 8 out of 10. And that's gonna do it for this episode of the review. Thank you all so much for watching and tuning into this week. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Check out the news episode of the podcast, buy some merch, and always remember to stay hydrated. I love you all, and I will see you next time.